Hello there folks, it is the morning of update 1.49 and as promised I'm going to give you an update on this week's daily race C in terms of your race and strategy guide. Now there was proposed changes to the tyre wear model and also to the physics, and I'll talk about them just a little bit as the video goes on, but the race settings have not changed at all. I believe the leaderboards may have changed or may not have changed, I'm not sure. They hadn't changed by the time I did this video, but it's still 13 laps, the tyre wear is still at times 3, the fuel is still at times 1, and it's still just the medium tyres with a mandatory pit stop. So with all that in mind, I did a race last night on update 1.48 so I could compare it to update 1.49 this morning, and this was a race that I did in the Jaguar, coming to the end of my run, coming into the pits here on lap 12. And of course you can see the tyre wear there down in the bottom left hand corner, and we're not going to change the tyres because we lose 4 seconds in the pits and we don't gain that time back with a fresh set of tyres if we were to pit in the middle of the race. You all know my complaints about the tyre wear model. Basically the tyres perform too well for too long, and this meant that we couldn't really get races where multiple tyre compounds were viable, because basically a very worn soft tyre would still perform at least as equal as fast to a brand new fresh medium tyre. But yeah, that's been the problem with the tyre wear model for a long time, and it's kind of really made strategy very one-dimensional in the game. There's not really much you can do beyond the optimal strategy in order to try and gain an advantage. Even in the 30 lap race around into Lagos in the Group 3 cars, with the hard and the soft tyres, everybody pretty much had to do the same thing. So I was very hopeful that update 1.49 is going to change that, and we'll take a look at a race I've done this morning on update 1.49 to compare it to this run. But before we get there, I just very quickly want to talk about the physics update. My initial thoughts are it feels very nice indeed. The cars are a little bit more lively, a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more tricky on the rear. I had heard people saying you can't use ABS weak. It doesn't appear to be the case, because I was able to use ABS weak without too many problems. But yeah, there is a change. It definitely feels different. You'll feel it feels different straight away. I had to do a few adjustments on my wheel as well. I actually had to turn my force feedback down because it looks like they may well have released the full torque value for the Logitech G Pro finally. That's another story. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. But yeah, it felt excellent, I must admit. I actually felt it was a big improvement in terms of how the car drove, in particular in the high speed corners. The way the car loaded up on the suspension felt much better in patch 1.49 to patch 1.48. But yeah, let's talk about the strategy. Has the strategy changed? Well, here we are on lap 12, coming into the pits to make our mandatory pit stop, and you're going to see we're not going to change the tyres. In fact, my tyre wear in terms of the telemetry looks better than patch 1.48. One thing you will notice though when we leave the pits here is that the lap times are significantly different. The new physics appears to have made the car, certainly in my hands, appears to have made the cars a lot slower. I was doing mid 1 minute 24s on patch 1.48, and we're only doing 1 minute 25.45s and 6s here. There's not really that much of a drop off in performance either. I must admit, on lap 11 and on lap 12 I definitely felt like I was losing a bit of performance. I can't deny that, but we have done our best lap there on lap 10. Now it's very early to make too many judgments at this time. I have done some I will be doing some comparisons as the week goes on, or certainly maybe get a video out later today or tomorrow taking a fully closer look at how the tyre wear model is going to work. I did some races yesterday, custom races yesterday, and I'll basically just do those same custom races with the new update to see how the tyre wear model is working. But as it is, it's looking very similar indeed. In fact, you know, on that front left tyre there, my wear is not anywhere near as bad as it was on patch 1.48, but on some of the other tyres it's actually worse. So very interesting indeed. Maybe not quite what I was looking for, but in terms of strategy for this race, it hasn't changed. You're still not going to change the tyres. You're going to pit basically to try and escape the traffic, but the cars are definitely a little bit more lively. I would say more enjoyable to drive. The way the suspension loads up is very nice indeed. I felt, straight away that this was an improvement in the way the car's handled, and hopefully you will as well. But yeah, let's take a look at the comparisons between the tyres on 1.49 and 1.48. And as you're going to see, yeah, we've not anywhere near the same tyre wear on that front left tyre, but interestingly, our front right tyre's got worse tyre wear, and that sort of transcends over to the rear tyres as well. So not quite what I was expecting, to be honest. From what we had seen in the World Tour, I was expecting the tyres to maybe wear a little bit quicker, maybe a bit a third quicker than they did in 1.48, but it doesn't appear to be the case. Now, it is early days, more testing will be required, and as I said, I will be putting out some videos either later today or early tomorrow morning, doing a full comprehensive comparison between the tyre wear models. But the early signs don't look especially promising for me in terms of a strategy, but that remains to be seen. But thank you for watching, folks, and I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.